Charles Purcell presents.
And now it's time for Armchair Radio Theater. This week's episode, stay tuned, kids. Send in Kleinhopfel. What do you got for me, Kleinhopfel?
I think you're really going to like this one, sir.
You think? You better be darn sure, Kleinhopfel. Advertisers spent $1 billion on children's television last year, and by golly, we're going to get a piece of that.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you got for me?
One word. Education.
Education?
Education.
You mean that blasted FCC regulation? We're already doing our required 3 hours a week of educational programming. Didn't we just buy some old stuff from PBS? Oh, those pansy do-gooders.
Yes, sir, but instead of running clips of old shows while the kids are asleep or in school, we'll produce original full-length educational programs for after school and Saturday morning.
After school and Saturday morning? Have you lost your mind, Kleinhopfel?
Fox Kids, Disney, Nickelodeon, they're all doing it, sir, and it's a big hit. It's the biggest thing since Power Rangers. We have no choice.
And it's a big hit, you say?
Industry PR is already placing stories about how the marketplace is creating quality children's programming without government regulation.
Marketplace better than government. I like it.
Look at these great buzzwords. High quality, diversity. Here's my favorite. PBS level quality.
PBS, those pansy do-gooders.
And we've got credibility. Selected positive quotes from the Center for Media Education, the National Institute on Media and the Family, the Annenberg Public Policy Center.
Highbrow. Good work, Kleinhopfel.
And the kids love it.
Whatever the little brats want to watch between commercials is okay with me. Algerian monkey wrestling for all I care, as long as we can keep shoveling cheap plastic toys, cereal, and candy down their little throats. We can keep shoveling candy, cereal, and cheap plastic toys, right?
Of course, sir. After all, we're not really PBS.
Oh, PBS. Pansy do-gooders.
Talkers on the right, spokespersons and media pundits, love using the straw man technique. The straw man, of course, one of the logical fallacies. And logical fallacies are either mistakes you make in your arguing, logical mistakes, or, more nefariously, they're techniques that people use intentionally to get around the rules of logic. It still sounds like logic. It still sounds like a logical argument. But actually, the listener is being bamboozled in some way, deceived or dismissed or taken on a twisty, curvy road into the land of where the arguer wants to go. Well, the straw man technique is one of these, and it's one of the most common. Straw man technique, simply put, you create a straw man, which is easy to tear apart. You create your opponent's argument in such a distorted way that then it's easy for you to tear them down. The right especially is doing this to the left all the time, creating a straw man, creating a left, a liberalism that I've never experienced in my life as a liberal. I don't know what you'd call me. I guess I'm a liberal, I'm a lefty, I'm a commie, much further to the left than your run-of-the-mill liberal. And that's kind of my point. For you right-wing pundits who are creating straw man arguments, well, I'm your straw man. My friends are mostly liberal, and I'm always fighting with them about not being left enough. Let me give you some examples to make this clearer. A right-winger will say liberals want to confiscate all your guns. No, they don't. It's not even close. Liberals in this country, and might I add, a great majority of conservatives, agree that they just want reasonable gun laws. And you know what those are. You've heard the list. Universal background checks, waiting periods, age limits, a ban on assault-style weapons. There's almost universal agreement. Some of these things are up into the 90 percentile bracket of agreement. Liberals want to take away all your guns. Nope, that's a straw man argument. And why do I know this? Because I'm the straw man. I'm raising my hand. I, Charles Purcell, am your straw man. Yeah, I do. I want to confiscate all guns. That's why I know your argument is bogus, because I'm the only one who wants this. I argue with my liberal friends all the time. Liberals, capital L liberals, bend over backwards to defend the Second Amendment. Oh, we believe in the Second Amendment. We just think that reasonable laws, they're so frickin' reasonable. Oh, and they don't want to offend hunters and people for whom guns are part of their culture. And yet you paint them in a way that not anywhere near that. Again, you're talking about me. I have no respect for hunters. I think your culture is really fucked up. If you think that shooting animals for sport is fun and it's a sport, well, then I have no respect for you at all. I don't have to respect your culture. Some cultures throw virgins into volcanoes. I don't have to respect that. No, I don't. Again, I'm your straw man. I'm your straw man. This is why I know. Another good example, open all the borders. Just open them up. No borders. We don't want any borders. Just let everybody in. That's ridiculous. No liberal I know wants that. Why do I know? Because I want it, and I argue with them all the time. You really need to get along a little better with the liberals, which are in this country are very, very centrist and very reasonable. I'm the one you're talking about. When you fill the airwaves with your screeds about crazy liberals wanting to open up all the borders and let everybody in, that's me. No, that's what I want. Take them away. Just take a big eraser and rub out the borders. Just free movement around the globe. That's what I want. That's what I want. I'm your straw man. What else? What else do you say? Oh, liberals want to. They want to tell you what you can do all the time. They want to tell you what you can eat and what kind of light bulb you can have. And no, they're free marketers like everybody else. You're talking about me and maybe a half a dozen of my online friends. You know, you want to scare people, go ahead and tell them these things. But if you're honest, you'll say, no, it's not liberals. It's Charles Purcell and half a dozen of his friends. But the problem is that won't scare anybody. At least I don't think it will. Maybe someday when this podcast becomes popular and all of a sudden I've got some sort of power, then you can use me and that'll scare people. But I don't have any high hopes for that, and it's certainly not the case as we speak. What else do you say about liberals? Liberals want to tell us what we can do with our land, all these regulations. You know, again, that's me you're talking about. I'm the crazy one. I'm your straw man. We'll get into this another time because it's a very big topic. In fact, we'll get into all of these. We'll go back through this list and we'll spend more time on each of them. Here's a really big one that requires a lot of time: land ownership and what private land ownership actually means, and what so-called rights do you have. Now, none of my liberal friends agree with me when I point out that the idea of actually owning land is insane to me. The first person who ever owned land, I'd love to go back and see who that was. Just some guy who decided, this is my land now, and you can't come onto it, and I'll decide what to do with it. It makes no sense. Okay, I own this piece of land. Who owned it before me? Well, some guy owned it for like 100 years, and then before that, you only have to go back. My point is, you only have to go back 3 or 4, maybe 10 or 12 owners, and to the point where it was just land. The idea of ownership in the sense that we think of it now, the modern idea of owning land, it's insane. It's crazy. Sure, it's complex, it's complicated. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but the basic tenet of owning land, and we can go all the way back to the guys who wrote the Bible and quote unquote man has dominion. There's all that. So again, that's too much to get into. We'll come back another time. But I'm your straw man. I'm the one who thinks these things. Liberals don't think these things. You guys are just not nearly as far apart as you think you are. You're just using this as a scare tactic, and I'm calling you on it. Yeah, liberals, they love their land. They love their money, just like you do. Liberals don't want to take your money. Oh, that's a big one. The whole redistribution of wealth. They want to take your money and give it to lazy people. No, they don't. I do. That's why I know. Because that's what I want. I think the tax system should be so progressive. I think it should be so progressive, and it includes a negative income tax so that when it's all said and done, everybody has the exact same income for the year. From the highest CEO to the kid with the paper route to the doctor and the teacher and the junkie on the street. Every single person, by the time the tax system has done its thing at the end of the year, everybody has the exact same income. Nobody wants that. I want that. And a half a dozen of my buddies online want that. So if you're going to scare people with that and tell them that's what liberals want, well, you're lying. It's not what liberals want. It's what I want. But again, I'm not going to scare anybody. Straw man. I'm your straw man. I'll give you one more example, and then we'll. I think I've made my point. The military. Oh, Lord Almighty. You hate the military. No, No. Liberals love the military. Everybody loves the military. Everybody gets on their goddamn knees for the military. You see a guy in uniform in the airport and you stop and you bow down. Oh, thank you for your service. Everybody loves the military. Conservatives, liberals, everybody. They don't hate the military. No, again, that's me. I got no time for that. The military is 99% just the tool of the oligarchy. They're a corporate tool. They're out there making life safe for rich guys, protecting their wealth and going and stealing wealth. That's what the military is used for now. And just putting on a uniform doesn't make you a hero. You could be a drug dealer or a rapist, or you could be a lot of things. Putting on the uniform doesn't change that. And we know damn well that drug dealers and rapists are serving actively as we speak. So no, that person's not a hero. Putting on a uniform doesn't make you a hero. So yeah, hate the military, have no respect for the military. You're describing ideas and you're describing opponents that don't exist. You're creating straw men to scare your listeners, your viewers, into taking your point of view so that the conservative worldview then is the only thing that will save us from the calamity of a lefty worldview. But you're just lying. You could say exactly what you're saying, but you say, no, that's Charles Purcell and half a dozen of his buddies. Then you'd be telling the truth, but then your little technique doesn't work because nobody's scared of me and my buddies. So, there you go. I'm your straw man.
Hey, Jimmy. Okay.
Girl named Mary turned my head with nothing said, thought I found love. I kissed her once under the tree, smiled burden thee on this pretty dove. I'm dreaming, I miss the days, those feelings. Dreaming, my mind has gone to the ceiling. I miss those days of being broke and sneaking smokes without a care, of taking time to walk the field and missing meals 'cause way out there I'm dreaming of riding trails and screaming, dreaming of dancing, rock and reeling. La 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 got a sense of pride today, and I must say I've learned a lot. Been aware of the child in me, most would agree we should not stop. Dreaming, I miss the days, those feelings. Dreaming, my mind has gone through the ceiling. I'm dreaming of riding trails and screaming, dreaming of dancing, rock and reeling. La 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 la
do you say we listen to Billy's pageant?
Well, you're not just going to listen. Everybody's in it.
Oh, right, of course. Everybody's going to participate. Okay, take it away, Billy.
Okay, so I've got parts for everybody. Baco, you're going to play Squanto. Here, I copied scripts for everybody. Here you go. Charles Purcell, you're going to play George Weymouth and John Winthrop.
Okay.
Chucky Bucky, you'll be Governor Bradford. Oh, and also, Chucky Bucky, you'll be Captain Benjamin Church. Oh, wow, this looks great. Okay. And Uncle Chuck, you're Chief Osemaquin, Chief of the Wampanoags.
Well, all right, great.
And also Chief Metacom, also known as King Philip.
He was chief of the Pequots. That was the big Pequot War. I know about that one.
Yeah.
What about me?
Death, you're going to play George Washington and Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, great, okay.
Everybody ready?
Yep,
Yeah,
ready.
man.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, here we go. The Real Story of Thanksgiving by Billy Nelson. In 1605, an English explorer and slave trader, George Weymouth, took Squanto, a member of the Pawtucket band of the Wampanoag Nation, from his home in what is now North America to England.
Oh, that's me. So, Squanto, how would you like to go to England? No way! I don't want to be your slave! Oh, no, nothing like that. You're a smart guy. You can work for me. Yeah, I don't know.
Squanto did go with Weymouth. Historians aren't so sure what his status was, but he wound up being kidnapped several times and held as a slave all over Europe. While Squanto was in Europe, some other Englishers kidnapped a bunch of Squanto's band of Pawtuckets and sailed them to England to be slaves. After many years and 5 cross-Atlantic voyages, Squanto finally made it back home.
Hey, where is everybody? Where are my Pawtuckets at? Hey, Chief, what's up anyway?
Chief Osemaquin was chief of the Wampanoag Nation.
Well, a bunch of damn Britishers took them as slaves and left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out the rest. That totally sucks.
The Pilgrims arrived in Massachusetts Bay in 1620, and they met Squanto, the last of the Pawtuckets.
Hey there, how's it going? You speak English? Yeah, I was over in England and learned the language. Cool. Could you help us out? We don't know what the hell we're doing.
Squanto taught the Pilgrims how to grow corn and to fish, and even negotiated a peace treaty between them and the Wampanoag Nation. At the end of the first year, the Pilgrims held a feast with Squanto in attendance. Oh, everybody reads that part.
Bang, 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 bang.
One of the ways the Pilgrims celebrated was by firing their guns in the air.
Bang, 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 bang. Wow, man, that's pretty messed up. Hey, shots! Are we being attacked? We better check this out.
Chief Osemaquin took about 90 Wampanoags to investigate.
Hey, what the hell's going on over here? It's okay, man. They're just celebrating. They're friends of mine. We've got a treaty, remember? Hey, Squanto, are these your people? Welcome. Come on in. The more the merrier. Hey, Chief Osemaquin, Governor Bradford is inviting you to join the feast. Well, thanks, but there's really not enough food here for everybody. Hey, Wampanoags, go get those deer we just killed and a whole bunch of corn and veggies to go with it. Hey, thanks, man.
The party lasted for 3 days. Everybody had a pretty good time, even though Chief Osemaquin didn't really trust the Pilgrims, so he and his Wampanoags kept an eye on them. In the next few years, religious zealots called Puritans began arriving by the boatload. They seized land, captured the strong young natives for slaves, and killed the others. The Pequot Nation hadn't agreed to the peace treaty Squanto negotiated with the Wampanoags, and they fought back. The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Indian wars ever fought. In 1637, over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe had gathered for their annual Green Corn Festival. In the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside. Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while the terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive. The next day, John Winthrop, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, declared a day of thanksgiving.
I declare a day of thanksgiving.
Because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered.
What a great victory! Hey, colonists, attack village after village. Women and children over 14 will be sold into slavery. Murder the rest. Bounties will be paid for Indian scalps.
Boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate victory over the heathen savages. During the feasting, the hacked-off heads of natives were kicked through the streets like soccer balls. Even the friendly Wampanoag did not escape the madness. Chief Metacomb, known as King Philip, was not happy.
What the hell, man? I thought we had a deal.
But Captain Benjamin Church said,
Nope, off with his head.
And Metacomb was beheaded on August 20, 1676.
Impale Metacomb's head on a high pole for all to see, so they may fear us.
Metacomb's head remained on display in Plymouth, Massachusetts for 24 years. The killings became more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving being held after each successful massacre. During the rest of the colonial period, there were a whole bunch of different so-called Thanksgivings. In 1789, after just a few months in office, George Washington declared a one-time National Day of Thanksgiving.
Whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor, I do recommend and assign Thursday, the 26th day of November next, to be devoted by the people of these states to the service of that great and glorious being, for all the great and various favors which He hath been pleased to confer upon us.
So basically, Thanksgiving is about thanking God for being on our side when we kill people. During the Civil War, October 3rd, 1863, in an effort to unite North and South, Abraham Lincoln decreed an annual Thanksgiving Day to be a legal national holiday.
I do therefore invite my fellow citizens in every part of the United States to set apart and observe the last Thursday of November as a day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father who dwelleth in the heavens.
To this day, at noon on every Thanksgiving Day, hundreds of native people from around the country gather at Coles Hill, which overlooks Plymouth Rock, for a national day of mourning.
Hi there, Rod. Thanks for coming in. It's good to see you. Listen,
I
there's
think I'm just about fed up. I think I'm just about done with your little establishment here because every week there seems to be, one sort of a problem or another.
I'm very sorry to hear you say this.
You're not the only laundromat in town.
Of course
You're not the only dry cleaners. You're not. There are
have
other
a
places I could go.
We have a long-standing relationship.
Well, I
with
thought
each
we
other,
did. I thought we
Rod,
did, Bill.
and I really believe that we can work this out.
Well, I
Now,
just don't
the
know
pants
anymore.
You brought in.
Yes. What about these pants?
The truth is, Rod, they don't seem to be pants at all.
Not
they seem
pants.
to have some sort of electronic device running through up the inseam.
So
and
now
around
you're
the
inspecting my
waistline
things when you bring them in?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I'm concerned.
Well, I don't know why you're concerned. In fact, I don't even know what you're doing with my clothes.
Well,
You're supposed to be washing them,
that's
not
exactly
inspecting
what
them.
I'm trying to
I
do
don't- They're
is wash
pants.
them.
Of course they're pants. I mean, look, they have two legs.
Yes,
There's a zipper.
Well, that brings up something else. I mean, the zipper is
Is what?
frankly, we
What? Well, spit it out. Say it. We used to communicate so well.
Now, Rod, get control of yourself. I'm just telling you that the zipper reacts with our chemicals in a way that I've never quite seen before in all my years as a dry cleaner. Is all I'm saying. And if we try to put it in some of the machines,
Well,
they
just
just
put it in the machine.
the electronics just go kablooey hooey, and I've never seen it before. And I'm a launderer. I'm not an electronics expert.
My
And you seem to
goodness,
have
Bill.
some sort of very sophisticated devices here in your pants, Rod.
Bill, it sounds to me like you're insinuating that I'm some sort of spy or something, and I'm not. I'm not a spy for
What are you
for
saying?
Lithuania or for anywhere.
Lithuania, my God,
not.
Rod, what are you saying?
I'm not a spy. I'm not a
What?
spy.
A spy? Well, Rod, your shirt is glowing.
What?
It's
shirt?
glowing and sending out messages. It's sending out messages to me. It's telling me that I'm supposed to kill you, Rod. I have to kill you. I'm sorry.
Miss Those Days by James Donalds.
This episode of Charles Purcell Presents is available right now wherever you find your podcasts. Or go to the website charlespurcell.com for the full archive and all the other series in the podcast family. Follow, comment, and contact me on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks to our flagship station, River West Radio, riverwestradio.com. Theme music composed and performed by Peter Donalds. From the New Arts and Media Studios in Milwaukee, I'm Charles Purcell.